What's up guys, Jared here. We're on the range today. The weather's super nice and we wanted to throw together a video for you to show you how you would take an older generation A-DAP target plate like we have here and convert it to our new 2.0 bracket. So this is our short bracket, which would work on the mini A-DAP or our mod A-Zone. And then we also have the long bracket, which is going to work for the C-Zone A-DAP system, our Goliath, and also the D-Zone size plate. And all of those different names are just different sizes and shapes of our target plates. So what I'm going to do here is I have a couple tools. I have some hardware kits. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I would go about replacing the current angles with the new ones. And when we ship these angles out to you, you're going to get two bare angles. They're not going to be painted. These are laser cut and CNC formed. And then we're going to ship them with a hardware kit. So I have an impact. You'll need a 3/4 inch socket because these are nylon lock nuts. They're going to come off pretty hard. I'm going to throw some gloves on because they are covered in lead, and also it's just a good idea because you may have fragmentations and other things in your 2x4s. But we're going to start first with the mini A-DAP. So I'm just going to pop off my top bracket here. You have a whole new set of hardware, so no worries there. This is also a good time to inspect any of your components. So if you have holes in any of your top brackets or anything is broken, or I don't know, one of your buddies drove over it with a pickup truck on the range, you can buy all of these replacement parts on our website. So just do a little bit of an inventory check. So here is a mini A-DAP target plate. I'm gonna inspect the plate and just make sure there's not a ton of damage. And this plate looks good. It's a little dirty because it was out on the range. So this is a really good opportunity for you guys to do a little bit of a status check on your target plate. And what we would be looking for is any cracks or pits or anything that's kind of saying, hey, this target plate's met its life and it's time to replace it. So we're looking for all of that. I don't have any pits. A little bit of edge chipping is normal. Whenever you get an impact on the corner of a plate, you're focusing all that energy, so little chips are not an issue. We're looking for craters, and what I would say a good rule of thumb is if it's 3/16 of an inch wide and you can feel it with your fingertip. I mean, it's obvious that it would be a pit. Maybe one of your friends shot armor piercing or something. That is what I would be looking for. If I see any of that, I'm gonna actually flip the plate. This one's good to go, so all I'm gonna do is take my impact 3/4 socket. It's gonna get noisy. Impact. I just took off that one nut. We're going to take off the other one. And even though the kit comes with extra hardware, I would say definitely make sure you're not losing your hardware. It's just good to have around. You will notice behind our angles, we always put washers. This is going to space the angle off of the plate and allow the plate to resonate really well. A little tap and these bolts are going to come out. You could reuse these bolts, but I would recommend definitely replacing them since they come with the new kit, especially if they have impacts, bullet impacts. Trying to be careful not to lose anything. Just inspecting the front of that plate. It's good to go on this one. If it was not good to go, I would actually flip it around and we would begin to shoot this side. One other point that I did not mention is you want to check on the side of your plate and make sure you don't have a lot of curve. If you have more than an 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch of curve from top to bottom, if you put a straight edge there, definitely flip your plate. It's time. Just put the angles on the opposite side that they were just on. So we're going to stick the bolts through the front, and I'm just going to hang on to them while I lay the target plate down. That's going to hold them into their position. I'm going to put the washers now over top of the bolts, lay my right angle down, take my left angle, lay it down. We've got two brand new lock nuts. Just start them finger tight. Now this is where it's critical to have your top bracket on hand. You want to definitely tighten these brackets down in a way that they are square. They're not too tight together so you can't get your top bracket through, or too wide and then your pin is actually going to be too short to get through the angles. So I'm going to tighten the first one down. First one down, I'm just going to keep my top bracket in between and just check with the pin, and I'm going to make sure that I have it in a way that I have room to put the cotter pin through the hole, and then I'll tighten this down. And if you notice, it did shift a little bit, so I'm going to back it off and retighten it. So now that they're tight, I'm just going to double check that the pin is long enough, that the angles aren't too wide. I'm going to double check fitment of my top bracket. Perfect. So now all I have to do is put my top bracket together with the new clevis pin and clip. And then, like I said, I'd take all my old hardware and just put it in the bag and keep it for later. You will notice that you also have 2 brand new thumb screws. These are for your base. So if you need them, great. If not, hang on to them as spares. We ship them standard in the kit. One thing I want to mention, if you have an older generation A-DAP plate, so if you bought it in the year 2019 or before, you're going to have the old style top bracket. The new top bracket we actually extended by over an inch. And the reason we did that was to allow enough room for the new brackets and the new steeper angle to still be able to move when struck by bullets. The old bracket being shorter, you're not going to be able to fully utilize all of the adjustment holes. So again, this new top bracket does come with the kit. So guys, that was super easy. We now have a mini A-DAP that is set up with the new angles, ready to rock and roll. Now we're going to move over to the C-zone and show you the process for that. You really don't have any use for these old angles anymore, so if you have a metal recycling place near you, definitely drop them off, get these things recycled, because you won't need this angle anymore. For the C-zone, we're going to do the exact same thing. This is just a bigger plate. So I'm going to pull the top bracket pin out, take the clevis out. Again, I don't really need this old top bracket anymore, so I'll just throw that off to the side. We're going to take my impact and take off the old angles. The biggest thing again is make sure you don't lose these washers. These washers keep the angles off of the back of the plate, and that's going to allow the plate to fully resonate, to ring really, really loud. If you bolt the big angles right to the back of the plate, it's going to dampen some of that ring. It'll still ring, but you definitely want those washers. So now I'm going to lift up this plate, pop the bolts out. I just kind of hold onto the back of the bolts as I lay the plate down. We've got the washers. We'll put the washers on next. On the long angles, you'll notice they have 2 sets of holes. On the C-zone plate or the D-zone plate, you're just using the top hole. That's the one you're putting through the bolts. The only reason we have 4 holes total is for the Goliath plate. On the Goliath, you would utilize all of those holes. Just put the nuts on by hand. Now I'm going to run these on with the impact just like I did last time. For the top bracket to slide through, and we do. Now we're going to check again with the pin and make sure that the hole clears the edge of the angle. We need to make sure that we don't have them spread too wide, or else you'll have a very hard time getting the new cotter pin in. So let's put that together. I'm going to put this just in the middle here. The further down you choose to put the pin into the top bracket, the more forward lean you're going to get on the C-zone. If you want to utilize the last 3 holes, we definitely recommend that you get an armored post, because that gives you a little bit of extra room to add target movement. Plus, the steeper the lean of the target, the more the fragmentation is going to hit the 2x4. So if you want to use those super steep lean angles, definitely check out our armored post. So that's it, guys. Now we have the C-zone target plate all bolted up. It's ready to rip, ready to rock and roll. All you need now is either a 2x4 or to get your armored post and put your armored post in place of this top bracket. So this is routine maintenance stuff that we're talking about. And the fact that we released the new 2.0 brackets gives you guys an opportunity to not only update your target plates, but to replace all of that old, worn out, gross hardware that you might have on the range, and also check the status and the plate condition on the front of your strike plates. So there you guys have it. That is the very simple process of taking an older generation A-DAP target plate and converting it to the new 2.0 specification. So a lot of you might be wondering, why would I want to do that? One of the reasons why we would like you to be doing that is so that you are regularly checking the status of your target plate to make sure that there's no pitting or cracking or any wear and tear that might tell you that it's time to rotate your target plate and shoot the fresh side. The other reason is the 2.0 brackets offer a ton of extra versatility to the system, and now you can actually change the forward lean angle. And that steeper forward lean angle means you can engage these targets at super close distances with carbines in calibers like 223 or 5.56 NATO, and you're going to even further increase the lifespan even under hard use. That forward lean is what helps bullets, instead of taking all that energy and dumping it into the plate, it fragments and sends that energy down to the ground. So there's tons of added bonuses and features that you're going to be able to experience by purchasing these new brackets and installing them on your A-DAP system. And installation is super easy. It'll take you only a couple minutes per plate. Guys, we appreciate you watching this video. Definitely, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you're thinking about the products we're offering and some of the other content we've been putting out. And this is a good opportunity to hop over to Instagram and Facebook as well. Give us a follow, give us a like. Definitely engage with the content we're putting out. Guys, we appreciate you. We will see you in the next video.